From the camera. So it is 7:45. Hi everybody, and good evening and welcome to our Hatha Flow session for this evening. Hope everybody is well and surviving thus far and all feeling good. So before we begin, if you need, generally need a block, go and get one, or something like a box or something to prop you up. I found this bowl which is really good upturned. We're going to do them like a half moon and other things that you might need a little propping up. So if you want to go and find one of those and then come and meet us on the mat. I should put those aside. So again, I hope everybody is well and finding their feet as we come into the first week of lockdown, and yeah, I hope everybody is feeling okay about the situation. I'm sure the weather is helping, although it's not so great not being able to be outside with everybody else. So yeah, again, hopefully you're feeling well and mentally doing okay, but perhaps tonight's session will ease that mindful tension a little bit as well. So when you're ready, coming down into child's pose this evening. So tonight's class will be a little bit more dynamic than the last couple that we've been doing. It's not going to be too crazy, but just bear that in mind. Perhaps have a glass of water to hand, and yeah, make sure that there's space around you so that you're not going to kick anything or knock anything flying, should I say. So when you're ready, come down into child's pose. Bring the toes together, the heels open, and just nestle the belly in between the thighs. Allow the forehead to fall down onto the floor. I'm just going to check my chat is going okay. There we go. And just making sure that you're nice and comfortable. Shoulders are soft. Head is definitely resting on something. Maybe it's the hands, maybe it's the floor. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths in child's pose just to settle in to the body, shake off any tension of the day. Again, if you are working from home, I'm sure that comes with its own sets of stresses, but also if you've got kids at home and you're not used to it, like me, then that is a whole new set of emotional stresses too. So take time to shed off any tension of the day. Find yourself into a comfortable space for your body. Maybe that means adjusting the hips, adjusting the shoulders, maybe a gentle rock of the head to release the neck. And then settle in to a slower, more even flow of breath. So as we rest in child's pose and concentrate on our breath, notice, as always, whether your body is feeling a little tight this evening, whether that additional level of anxiety has perhaps manifested itself in the body, around the shoulders, around the hips, around the back. Again, no worries, you know, everyone's got those heightened levels at the moment, but just being aware of that fact, being aware of your body and how it feels will help you through the practice this evening. So just notice your body. And as we spend this time noticing our body, send your breath into those spaces that are perhaps feeling a little bit in need of some attention this evening. Again, the shoulders, the back, the hips. Coming to let the body rest with that extended flow of breath. And as always in our first part of the practice, we take a moment to make a promise to ourselves to practice with openness and honesty for the body. And with that said, take a nice big breath into the centre of the back. Big sigh out through the mouth. Closing the mouth, parting the teeth, and continuing with that long, slow breath.
And starting to move the hips from left to right. Again, just finding a gentle sway through the body. And then taking that sway to the shoulders. Again, maybe to the neck. Maybe a gentle sway of the head from left to right. Again, just see how that feels for the body to open up. And then start to creep the fingertips forward to lengthen out through your arms. As you take the next inhale, make it underneath your shoulders. Nice big breath in. Big softening sigh. And then opening up those fingertips as wide as you can, wriggling them down into the mat to feel grounded and stable through the hands. And then on the next inhale, lift your body up halfway. As you exhale, take a rounded cat pose. And on the inhale, take the upward cat pose. As you exhale, stay here in that upward cat, but come forward over the wrists, elbows nice and tight. Inhale, lift yourself back into center, nice and long with the arms. As you exhale, round your back and come and sit a little longer into that stretch. Inhale, breath, again come into upward cat. Exhale, breath, lean a little forward, elbows tight. Inhale, breath, come back. And then exhale, breath, moving into that long space for your low spine. Last one. Inhale to come forward into upward cat, elbows still tight. Exhale, leaning into that, bending the elbows, allowing the chest to open. Exhale, pushing up. See how that feels for the arms. As you exhale, come back. Notice your energy levels. And then inhale, breath, come forward. Again, fingertips nice and wide, tucking toes. As you exhale, downward dog. Keep your knees bent, stretching out through upper body. Find length to your arms, a gentle softening bounce. Nice long flow of breath here. Again, the knees are still bent. On the next inhale, lifting up high onto the toes and take the body forward into a super high plank. As you exhale, seek the body back. Again, bend the knees. Bring the elbows nice and tight to support your upper body. See how that feels for your upper body and your shoulders. Inhale, breath. Come into your super high plank. High up onto the toes, high up onto the shoulders. Exhale, squeeze your elbows. Bend your knees. Find length to your arms, gazing between your kneecaps. Inhale, breath, come forward. High into that plank. Super, super, super high. And then exhale, squeezing elbows as you come all the way back. Stay here, big breath in. Big sigh out through the mouth, drop chest to thighs. 2 more, big breath in. Big sigh out. Inhale, breath. And then push through the heels and the hands even further. Exhale out the mouth. And then drop the knees. Untuck the toes. Come back into child's pose. So just resting your arms, allow the palms to come face up. Again, just notice your shoulders and how they feel. Find a long extended inhale, softening, deepening exhale. And on your next exhale, turn the palms to face the floor. As you inhale, come into our table position. Exhale, tuck toes, push through the hands, bend knees. On the inhale breath, lift your left heel, bend the knee. As you exhale, push the weight down into your right heel. Find length to your arms, a gentle stretch to the back of that right leg. Inhale breath, come up high onto your right toes, bend both knees. As you exhale, down through your left heel, stretch through the back of the knee. Again, long, open, even breath here. Inhale, breath, lift up onto those toes, bend both knees. As you exhale, sit the bottom towards the back of the mat. Look between the hands, bring the belly onto your thighs. Again, nice big breath in. As you exhale, push even further through the heels of the hands, sit even further back. See if you can bring the heels closer towards the floor. And then on the next inhale, lift up high onto the toes. Lift the hips as high as you can. As you exhale, roll down through the balls of the feet towards both heels. Again, don't worry if they don't touch. Just find length to the back of your legs. Steady the flow of breath here. And then on the next inhale, lift your right foot. Again, avoiding any objects you have near you. Right heel comes up, toes point down towards the floor, nice and long in three-legged dog. Big breath in. As you exhale, come up high onto left toes, hug your right knee in, hug the head towards your right knee, lift the space in between the shoulder blades. And on your next exhale, bring the foot down in between the hands. Come into a low lunge, come up high onto your fingertips, look forward through the heart, pull back through your shoulders, allow your hips to come in 45-degree line between head and left heel. Big breath in, big sigh out. As you inhale, lift up right arm, pull shoulders back into sockets. As you exhale, right fingertips come down. Inhale up, left arm, shoulders back into sockets. Exhale, plant both hands down. Inhale, right foot back into plank. Exhale, knees, untuck toes, whole body. As you inhale, come into a low cobra, shoulders back. Just testing out your low spine, seeing how that feels. As you exhale, come down. Tucking toes, sitting the hips towards the heels. Nice big breath in underneath your shoulder blades. As you exhale, lifting up into our down dog. Inhale up and back, left foot. Again, avoiding any objects, toes point down towards the floor, no higher than hip height. Big breath in. As you exhale, push down into that right heel. Inhale, lift the left knee nice and high, shoulders over the wrist, tuck the head to look towards that left knee. Lift the space in between your shoulder blades. Push the floor away, find nice and high upper body. Exhale, heel toe foot in between the hands. Don't worry if you need to move it, but make sure that it's definitely underneath your kneecap. Come up onto fingertips, shoulders back, opening chest, looking forward. Find length to the right leg. As you inhale, lift up the left arm. Again, shoulders back into sockets. Exhale, fingertips down. Inhale up, right arm, shoulders back. Exhale, both hands down. Inhale, left foot plank. Exhale, knees, whole body, untucked toes. Inhale, low cobra. Again, just see how that feels for the low back. Pulling elbows nice and tight, opening through collarbones. As you exhale, tuck toes, sit hips towards the heels. Again, nice and long and open through your back body. Big breath in. Big sigh out. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, lift up, downward dog. A gentle sway through the hips. Again, find length to the back of each leg. Open space in the back of your shoulder blades. And then next inhale, lift up high onto toes. As you exhale, pull down through the heels. On the next inhale, lift right foot up and back, three-legged. Exhale, hug the right knee nice and high, lifting upper body, heel, toe, foot. As you inhale, lift and squeeze the thighs and come up into high lunge. As you exhale, soften the shoulders, soften the hips, and pull back through that left thigh, nice and long and open through the back of that left leg. Hug in and up through the belly. Again, find length to both sides of the body. Next inhale, raise the gaze, raise the arms. As you exhale again, minding the wall, come all the way open through the arms and bring the hands behind. Rolling shoulders up, back and down, slide thumbs on the inside of the left thigh as you lift your chest. You don't have to look up, but find length and open space across your chest. Next inhale, float the arms out and wide. And as you exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, right foot back. As you exhale, knees, untuck toes, whole body. Inhale, cobra. This time maybe lift the hands. Exhale, come down. One more of those. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Tuck toes. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot up. Exhale, hug the left knee nice and high. Heel toe foot. Again, squeeze the thighs, come up, high lunge. As you exhale, soften shoulders, soften hips, and pull away through that right thigh to find length in that right inner groin. Again, on the inhale, lift in and up through your belly. Find an extension through the crown of your head. Next inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, take the arms out wide. Clasping hands at the back, rolling shoulders up, back and down, thumbs onto the inside of the right thigh, opening collarbones. Again, really big extended breaths into your belly, into your low back. Inhale, open arms out wide. Exhale, plant hands. Inhale, left foot back, plank. Exhale, knees, untuck toes, whole body. Inhale, low cobra. Again, maybe lifting hands, maybe not. Exhale. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Again, tuck toes. Exhale, breath to come up into our down dog. A gentle sway from left to right. A shift through hip to hip. Again, nice and long and open through the back of the knees. Next inhale, lift up high onto toes. As you exhale, pull down through your heels. Squeeze elbows into the center. Turn inner elbows to face towards the front. Start to squeeze the elbows even further as you bring your body weight forward. In that super high plank, engage the belly, lift in and up. And then exhale back, downward dog. One more big breath in. Big sigh out. Next inhale, lift your right foot up and back, three-legged. Exhale, hug it nice and high, heel toe foot. Again, do move it forward, make sure that your knee is definitely over your ankle before we do anything else. And this is where you might need your propping up of your bowl. So taking your hands forward by one foot, one hand length, as you lift up and out through that left leg. Again, please avoid any obstacles. If you want to, or if you need to, place your upturned bowl onto the floor and extend your arms or your block. Come into standing split. Tuck your head to look towards your right knee if you want to extend even further. Make sure there's no tension in those right toes. Nice and long through the back of that right leg. And then from here, again, moving your bowl or your block, or just coming up onto your fingertips to the right hand side. Coming up into half moon. Left hand comes towards the left hip. Shoulder comes back. Start to flex the left foot. Turn that left set of toes towards the left as you start to stack the hip on top of the hip. Left shoulder on top of left shoulder. Don't worry if you don't want to extend that left arm. Just find an open space in your body here. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Again, feeling dynamic line of energy between right middle finger and left middle finger. Crown of the head and that left heel. And then from here, bending the right knee. If you can, float your way up into warrior two. Always easy, but making your way into our warrior two. Do please move the legs if you need to. Right heel in line with left arch. As you inhale, inhale up through the center of the body. As you exhale, soften shoulders and open out across from fingertip to fingertip. Again, make sure both shoulders are nice and soft and allowing the body to open that little bit further. Turning right palm as you inhale, reach it forward and come up into our reverse warrior. So as we start to extend along that right hand side, making sure that left shoulder again is falling away from the ear, opening up and lifting into that right side of the rib cage. Super long breaths in, big sigh out. And then on the exhale breath, cartwheeling right hand down, left hand comes to join. This time, right foot comes up and back, straight into three-legged dog again. So nice big long lift through that right hand side. Again, pushing through the heels of the hands, pushing down into that left heel. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then from here, as you inhale, lift high up into the center again with that right foot, and then heel toe the foot in between the hands. Rolling shoulders up, back and down, pulling away into that left heel, again into our low lunge, our runner's lunge. Big breath in, big sigh out. Placing left hand onto the floor or onto your block or your bowl, your upturned bowl. I'm not sure whether this will come out in video, but there we go, we'll have a go. As you inhale, squeeze the thighs into the center and lift up through that right hand side. Making sure left shoulder comes down the back. If you can, hug that right knee even tighter in towards the side, really stretching through the outer edge of that right thigh. And then as you exhale, plant your right hand back onto the floor. So your choice here, you can come into a one-legged chaturanga or into a straight chaturanga or just into downward dog or just into child's pose, but come into a nice gentle vinyasa if you want to. Again, a sway of the hips to steady the body. I'm just going to turn around to the other side. So don't worry about scooting around your mat, just so that you can see this side better. So reset breaths here, nice big breath in through the nose, out through the nose, softening shoulders and extending your back. Again, child's pose is always your friend, but if you're in child's pose, come back into down dog now. Again, long, open, even breaths. On the next inhale, lift up the left foot, three-legged. As you exhale, again, hug that left knee nice and high, heel to the foot. Again, make sure you do move it forward if you need to. Bring the hands forward by one hand length, maybe onto a block, and as you inhale up into standing split. So tucking head in towards that left kneecap, if you can, if it's available to you. Shoulders are soft. And then start to lift the chest. Again, maybe placing your left hand onto a block or onto whatever you have available. Right hand comes onto right hip. As you start to open the hips, flex that right foot. Again, really extending through your upper body. Maybe you stay with the hand onto the hip. Maybe not. Finding where you should be this very moment in time. Nice big breath in. Again, maybe we're going to hover, hopefully, soften that left knee and come and float up into warrior two. Maybe the legs need to move a little. Heel toe that left foot in a little to open along the hip line. Shoulders soften, extending out through your fingers. Big breath in, lifting up through belly. Big, soft, settling sigh. Turning left palm, reaching forward, coming up into our reverse warrior. Again, as you extend through that left side, make sure the right shoulder is softening away from the ear too. Finding an open space around that left side of the rib cage. Again, a really big breath in and out here. And then on the next exhale, cartwheeling left hand, and then right hand comes to join. Again, we're going to come back into our three-legged dog. So left heel comes all the way up, stretching out through the sides. And then as you exhale, hug left knee nice and high, heel to the foot in between the hands. Come into our runner's lunge, so settle the hips a little bit, push away through right heel, and then plant right hand underneath right shoulder. Again, maybe that may be propped up on a book or something, or maybe straight onto the floor. Squeeze the thighs, lift up through left arm. Again, there's a tendency here that right shoulder starts to fall in. If you can, really pushing it back into its socket, hugging the left knee nice and high into that center line. Big breath in. As you exhale, left hand down. Again, your choice of vinyasa or not. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. So nice and long through upper body. Again, reset breath here. Huge breaths in. Really big extended breaths out. And then from here, squeezing elbows into the center. I know you're all going to love me for this. If you can, coming down onto both elbows at the same time, not just one elbow at a time. Squeezing them even tighter, looking towards the belly button and starting to walk the feet a little closer towards the body. Don't lose your shoulders at this point. The head should still be off the floor. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then gently drop the knees as you untuck the toes and come down into Balasana. So take the hands behind the heels if your body will allow. Maybe you need to bring your head onto a blanket or onto a block. Just let the body settle here. And that nice extended breath into the back of your rib cage, into low spine. So hopefully you're feeling a little energized by now. Long extended breaths. And then when you're ready, taking your hands forward, keeping the head nice and low, wriggling fingers to find the ground, to find the earth. And then inhale up halfway, tucking toes, exhale, push through the heels of the hands, squeeze the elbows to find a long, extended downward dog. Again, a settled breath here. Bring your left toes into the center at the back of the mat. So scooch them over a little bit and then push down through that left heel. As you inhale, lift your right foot, pointing those toes. Going to open the hip now, extending up and open through that right hip. Really nice and long. Still strong through that right arm. And as you exhale, hug your right knee high in towards heart center. Inhale, we're going to sweep that right foot up and back again, nice and open. As you exhale, over towards your left elbow. Squeeze the elbows, make a little shelf. Inhale up and back through that right foot. Exhale over towards the right elbow. Again, make a little shelf. Maybe we come up and make it a little floaty. Inhale up and back. Exhale again, hug that right knee high in towards heart center and heel to the foot in between the hands. Build the left foot down as you come up into Warrior One. So Virabhadrasana 1, we want to bring that left hip round to the front. Draw down through the tailbone, lifting up through that center line. As you exhale, soften hips, soften shoulders into their sockets. I'm going to come into eagle arms. So taking right arm underneath your left, crossing at the elbows, you have choices. You can bring your hands onto your shoulders, you can bring the backs of the hands together, or you can double wrap. It's the elbows that's more important than the hands, so make sure the elbows are nice and tightly locked. From here, as you inhale, lift your elbows. Raise the gaze. As you exhale, drop your shoulders. Maybe softening into that right thigh a little. Don't lose the lift in the belly. Get nice and lifted through those elbows. Finding that steady flow of breath. Hoping that you have enough space around you for the next bit. Bring the elbows closer in towards your body. Keep them wrapped. Come up onto the left toes. And either a little hop, or you can come straight up into Warrior 3. Your choice. You can either reach that extended grip forward, or you can unwrap and float the arms back for our Warrior 3. Again, your choice. If you want to, you can take it a little bit further down with the chest into our toppling tree, shoulders still back. And then bend the right knee. Bring the left foot back into our Warrior 1. Exhale, plant the hands. And then bring the right foot back, downward dog. A little shake of the hips, a little sway. And then we bring right foot into the center at the back of the mat. Again, push down into that right heel, take the weight away from your shoulders as you inhale up and back with that left foot. So start to really open up the left hip for a moment. Again, try and avoid letting the elbows soften and sag, lifting through the whole of the body, pushing down through the earth to gain that lift. Inhale, breath, lifting high onto the right toes, hugging right knee in. And then as you come all the way back and up. And then exhale, breath, come all the way over to your right elbow. Again, drawing the knee as close as you can to that elbow. Inhale, up and back. A little bit close to the radiator for this side. As you exhale, bring the left knee over towards the left elbow. And again, if you want to, you can lift up. Inhale, up and back. And then exhale, hug the right knee nice and high. Again, heels of the foot in between the hands. Right heel comes down. Inhale, Warrior 1. See if you can push a little bit more weight into your right foot. Right hip comes around to the front, hugging in and up through the belly, softening down through the shoulders. Again, we're going to come into eagle arms, left arm underneath the right. Doing the same grip as you did on the other side. Inhaling up through elbows. Exhaling down through shoulders. Again, we're going to push into both legs to lift those elbows a little higher. Still pulling back through left hip, pulling forward through right hip. And then gently bringing those elbows back down. So avoiding any tension in those left toes, coming up gently into our Warrior 3. She says trying not to hit herself into the wall. Coming up into Warrior 3. Again, your choice. If you want to, you can extend that grip forward to open the shoulders, or we can open the chest by coming back into airplane arms. Again, your choice. If you want to take it a little bit further, the toppling tree to let the chest dip. Bending through left knee as you take the right foot down into our Warrior 1. Again, shoulders nice and soft. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, take the hands down. The left foot comes back. Again, a gentle sway. So you're all feeling nice and warm now. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Left foot again into the center at the back of the mat. Inhale up and back, right foot. Take that right foot over towards the left sit bone. So nice long push through both sides of the body. If you want to take it a little bit further, please be careful if you do. Bring the left elbow down. Flex the right foot and hug it even tighter in towards that left sit bone. Sorry, flex the right foot. Did I say that? I'm not sure. Anyway, right foot. And then from here, inhale up through that left arm if you haven't already. Take your right knee towards your right wrist and come down into pigeon. So, block, pillow. If you need it, tuck it underneath that right hip. We want to make sure that both hips are even. So no rolling into that right hand side. Lower back should be nice and straight. And then from here, I like to say this is all totally engaged. So the legs, lower body, groin, everything is all engaged all the way up through that center line. Lifting through the chest, rolling through the shoulders, opening through the throat. So really big extended breaths here. We're using this as our back bend as well as our hip stretch. So try not to just sag into the middle. Keep everything engaged and lifted. Get that really big extended breath across the collarbones, lifted through the throat. Get those airways nice and open. Big breath in. And then gently coming forward. So belly is lifted over that front leg. Elbows come down. A gentle sway of the hips. And then when you're ready, let the elbows come out. Again, if you want to, you can bring the cushion underneath your head, or just bring the hands underneath your head. Letting the body settle and soften, letting everything rest here. So letting go of any tension through the legs. Perhaps even isolating parts of the legs. So starting off with your left leg from the toes, walking through to that left hip. Allowing the muscles to unwind. And then starting off with those right toes, walking through to the knee, and then all the way up to the hip. Being aware of your shoulders, making sure they're nice and steady too. So very slowly, if you have a cushion or a block underneath your right hip, just take it away now. We're going to lift ourselves up, head still heavy, and then roll onto that right hip. So again, avoiding anything on your left hand side. Sweep your left foot around to the front. Want your left foot in the middle, kneecap up, and your right knee leg is still bent underneath. So, voila. From here, bringing left fingertips behind your back, right hand around that left knee. As you inhale, crown of the head pulls all the way up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, left shoulder rolls away from you, right elbow lifts as your right shoulder drops. Start to twist from your lower back, all the way through to the crown of the head. So again, really, really long breaths into that low spine. Really take full advantage of that spinal twist. So a nice long big breath in. And as you exhale, turn to face the front and gently unwind. Left arm onto the inside of that left knee. Use that arm, the push as well through the knee, into a nice big lift through the left side of the chest and then across the right side. Turn the right palm open as you counter twist here. Big breath in. And then gently release as you come back. So, Don't worry if you can't do the next bit of transition, just meet us in downward dog. We're going to roll over onto our crossed legs and come all the way back into our downward dog. Again, perhaps a sway of the hips before we take the right foot into the middle at the back. Pushing down into that right foot, the left leg comes all the way up. As you take that left foot over towards the right sit bone, again that left kneecap is super, super high. If you want to, you can come down with the right elbow, you don't have to. Flex that left foot, bring it even closer towards the right sit bone. Try not to sag into that right shoulder. And then inhale up through that right arm if it's down. As you exhale, left knee over towards the left wrist. Come onto that right thigh. Make sure your right leg is super long. And again, if you want to or need to, place that cushion underneath your left bum cheek. If you want a deeper stretch, you can always bring that left foot slightly further forward into a bit more of a right angle, but again, don't overthink it. Hands back towards the left knee. Start to squeeze everything in and up to support yourself into that back bend, opening throat, chest, shoulders down. Again, lifting and extending your body. Breathing super long, feeling grounded here. Again, we're all in a state of flux at the moment, so it's nice to have a little bit of grounding, a little bit of safety and security, allowing those muscles to extend up and open through your body. One more big breath in, and then as you exhale, keeping the lift in the belly, just come down onto your elbows, a gentle sway from left to right. And then when you're ready, elbows out to the side, and then forehead comes down. Again, maybe give the shoulders a little wriggle. Finding a really super long, extended breath here. Again, starting off with those right toes, relax the whole of that leg towards the hip. And then starting off with those left toes. Again, really nice, gentle softening through that left leg and thigh. And then very slowly again, heavy head. I'm going to come onto that left hip. Again, take the block or blanket away if you've got one. And then sweep the right foot around to the front of the mat. So into the centre at the front. Left hand around the right knee, right hand behind facing forward. As you inhale up through the crown of the head, nice and tall. As you exhale, lift the left elbow but drop the left shoulder. Roll that right shoulder away from you. Open up through the whole of the body as you turn to look over that right shoulder. Again, find a really deep extended breath into your belly. Find lift through your body. Anchoring down through those sit bones to gain more lift as you breathe. So one more big breath in. And as you exhale, turn to face the front and gently unwind. Right hand, right arm I should say, onto the inside of that right knee, using it to push all the way into that lift. Find lift through the right side of the chest, opening through the left shoulder as you open through the left palm. Big breath in, and then gently release, come back into the centre. So bring your legs out, give them a nice big shake. And then shift your bottom to halfway through the mat. So no boat pose this evening, I did on Monday. Reach your right arms forward, tucking everything under, but we're going to come down nice and slowly. So rolling yourself under, tucking everything as tightly under as you possibly can to come down super slowly. And then maybe you have enough space to bring your arms open wide, or cactus the arms, either way, absolutely fine. You're going to start off by lifting your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little bunny hop to release the low back. A gentle rock before we hook right ankle over left knee. And just let the knees float towards the right. Turn the head to look towards the left, rolling your left shoulder up, back and down. If your left shoulder is lifted up off the floor, just bring your left hand onto the hip and turn the gaze towards that side to allow the body to soften. Maybe it's a little intense to bring your right ankle onto the knee, in which case just unhook it and bring the knees and ankles together. When you're ready, closing your eyes and just letting the body unwind here for a moment. Again, find that super extended breath into that lower left side. And on your next inhale, use those left obliques, engage them again, tighten them up, and bring the legs back into the centre. Unhook, maybe shift your bottom into the centre a little bit, again bunny hop them up, and then hook left ankle over right knee, avoiding radiators, coming over to the left as you turn the head to look towards the right. Again, maybe you need to unhook that left ankle, maybe you need to bring the hand onto your waist. Be honest with your body and let yourself relax here, because we've done a lot of work tonight. So nice big extended breaths into that lower side. It's always worth closing the eyes down at these points so that we can find where the breath is moving through the body, how to release those muscles. It's easier to do with the eyes closed, to shut out those external noises. So good, nice big breath in, big sigh out. And then as you inhale, start to lift yourself back into the centre. Again, unhook the legs, bunny hop. Just bring your hands beside you, kick your heels up towards the ceiling and just flex out through the feet, rolling through the ankles, just unwinding everything from the feet down. And then coming back the other way, nice and open through the toes, through the heels, stretching and lengthening. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. So just give yourself a super big hug for doing all that fabulous work for your body and also for your mind. Draw your head in towards your knees. Start to tighten the shoulders in towards those knees, pointing the toes, tightening everything up, screwing the muscles of the face up. Again, making everything as tight as you possibly can while I just sort out the music for our relaxation. So really, really tightly through the body. And then big breath in, big sigh out. Let everything float into Shavasana. So if you need to, as always, get yourself a blanket or get yourself everything else to make you comfortable in Shavasana. We're going to start to walk ourselves through the parts of the body to really relax and release. If you want to, you can bring your knees up if it's a little bit too hard on your low spine to rest here, or you can bring your feet into bound angle if you want to. So that's a bit too loud. So coming to rest and relax your body as you close your eyes down. Just letting those toes fall into softness. Heavy through the heels, relaxed to the ankles, through the knees. No tension around the thighs and the hips. Feeling that heaviness, that stillness around the pelvis. Softening through low spine. No tension through the middle back. Rib cage feeling open and free. Shoulders heavy, softening and easing into the earth. Arms floating beside the body. Palms soft, fingertips light. Allowing the back of the neck to rest long and wide on the floor. No tension across the face, the jaw, the eyebrows, the eye sockets. Coming to rest the awareness on the center of the eyebrows. Coming to wriggle fingers and toes as we slowly start to wake up the body, rolling through wrists and ankles, stretching the legs out if you haven't already got them straight, and then sweeping the arms over the head, giving yourself a nice big breath in, super big sigh out. And then rolling over to the right hand side. If you can, still with eyes closed, just taking a moment here, come back into the body. And then only when you're ready, still with eyes closed, coming back into our comfortable cross-legged seat. Resting with your hands, palms face down today, onto your knees. And taking those deeper breaths here back into the belly, extending and opening those channels, those airways, those pranic energy lines through your body. And as you do so, just notice that newfound openness, that newfound energy for your body, that ease of breath, that stillness through your mind. And as always, we take this and any other positive energy we build up on the mat away with us and return to this stillness whenever we can. Bringing the palms together, rubbing them to gently warm them. And then placing those hands as cups over the eyes. Give yourself a little massage through those eye sockets before we flutter eyelids open and bring the palms down into prayer. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and hopefully you won't have kicked any ornaments flying off the shelves, and you enjoyed the energising practice. So everybody's finding their feet at the moment, but I think what will be happening is on a weekly basis from now. The Monday evening practice at 8 p.m. will be grounding, stable, really relaxing yoga, and our Wednesday evening will be our Hatha Flow session, which is a little bit more dynamic at 7:45. So if you have any other ideas on times or whatever that would work for you, then please do send me a message. All is good. I'm just fielding ideas and comments at the moment. Also, if you like the video, please do comment and please do give me a little thumbs up, and also please share. Certainly please do share to any NHS workers that you know that might need a little bit of grounding at the moment. Obviously all free to NHS workers, but if you do, I'm not really sure how people are affected money-wise at the moment. Obviously as a self-employed person, not so great, but I know everybody is affected differently, but if you can afford even the smallest amount, then please donate on the link below, and hopefully I will see you again very soon, and stay safe and enjoy the sun. Hopefully it will last, and yeah, very nice to see you. Hopefully everyone will have a lovely sleep after our dynamic session this evening. Thank you. Namaste.